Hello and welcome to the Saintly Sounder, your source for all things FIFA. Alright, so today we have another installment of the head-to-head challenge. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bundesliga Strikers, and today we have a Dortmund trio for part 1. It's Adrian Ramos, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyeng, his not-in-form card, and then of course Marco Reus, my all-time favorite FIFA 15 player. Alright, so jumping right into it is Marco Reus. 5'11", might be a little small for a striker, but he makes up for it with crazy stats. Great dribbling, great shooting, great pace. 400 plus games, 400 plus goals, and almost 200 assists make him have a goal-to-game ratio that is unprecedented. Okay, so on to the final rating. I give him a 9.5 out of 10, which is the highest of any player. Part of that is because of his crazy breakaways. He is very, very fast, as you might already know, because I'm sure he scored against you before. He's just so quick and agile on the ball, not at all sluggish, which ties into his skill running, which I also gave a 9 out of 10 because he's just so quick on the turn. A fake shot, if your opponent misplays anything, Reus is gone. And if you get into the box with him, have a go. He's really good. His shot power, just aim it into the corner and it's going in. No keeper is going to stop a Reus shot. 9 out of 10, which is crazy good in my rating scale. Outside the box, he scores the highest of any player in outside the box shooting that I've used. He can literally score from anywhere in your opponent's half. That's not an exaggeration. He scored a 55-yard finesse shot against Manuel Neuer once. His free kicks are amazing. His driven shots are amazing. I can't say enough about how good he is long shooting. His headers, he is only 5'11", so you may want to deploy him at left forward and have a stronger, more aerial threat type striker to complement it. But if you do have to use him at striker, he is okay. He's not going to win very many corners for you, but he's very, very average. He's 5'11", so he's not too tiny. And then his creation for others, his pace and his good passing stats allow him to create and both execute on good passing lanes. He's very, very good at supporting teammates, as you can see by his crazy assist-to-goal ratio, which is very good as well, almost an assist every other game, which for a left forward is very good in my system. Up next here is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyeng. He's 6'2", which makes him the ideal height for a striker. He has a little bit worse of a goal-to-game ratio, 122 and 180, then 97 assists, which is good. Again, an assist every other game, which is exactly what you look for. Double 3 stars, though, which can be a hindrance. So his final rating, this is going to differ a little bit from my winger review because he's on 7 chem at striker. I give him an 8.2 out of 10. Again, breakaways, he's lightning quick. Get him in a straight line and just outrun everyone and you're going to be fine. His skill runs can be a little worse. 7.5 out of 10. He feels very average. It's going to take him a second or two to get up to his full speed, which can be a little bit of a hindrance and kind of annoying when he gets caught by a slower player, just because you had to slow down a little bit. Inside the box, he can be very, very inconsistent. Most of the time, you're just going to want to try to round the keeper if you can, because his shooting can be just very hit or miss, despite the high finishing stat. Outside the box, again, very similar to his inside the box, very, very hit or miss. His headers are pretty good for a man of his size. He's going to get his head on a lot of things. His speed on corners is very good as well. I find it beneficial to have a pacey guy going for corners. For whatever reason, it just allows him to get in front of a slower, less agile defender to get their head on it, which can be a huge asset. He scored quite a few headers for me, and that is also very beneficial. His assisting for others, again, great assist ratio. His pace, again, allows him to create a lot of angles. His crossing can be a little inconsistent, although oftentimes he's more than capable of whipping that ball in correctly, despite his kind of low passing stat. But overall, you're going to want him straight up if you're playing as a striker. You're going to want him running down the field. You're going to play through balls. He is the ultimate sweat master. And finally is EA's most prolific man of FIFA 15. As you can see, he's got a better goal-to-game ratio than Aubameyeng and a good assist-to-game ratio as well. He's 6'1", but he has massive heading stats hidden within that physical category. He just plays so much better than his card stats suggest. Alright, so here's the final rating for Adrian Ramos, 8.4 out of 10, which is slightly better than Aubameyeng at the striker position. His breakaways, he is quick. You can sweat with him, and he can stay away on most breakaways. I will mention, though, that he can tend to be run down if the sprint is really long. He doesn't have all that great top-end speed. It's still really sweaty, but against a guy like Anua or Boateng who can match him stride for stride after a certain amount of time, you're going to notice that Ramos can tend to get reeled back, which can be a little annoying, especially late in games. I've really noticed. Inside the box, he plays a lot better than his card stats suggest. He's actually a really, really clinical forward. and since he comes with links to Quadrado, he can be really useful in a lot of hybrids as well. Outside the box, very hit or miss. I wouldn't recommend trying too many long shots with him. It's really not his game. His skill running, because he is agile and quick off the block for a man of his size, he can be useful. He only has 3-star skills though, so you're going to be kind of limited to heel to heels and then fake shots, which to be honest is really all you're going to need to be successful. Although it would be nice to have 4-star skills, it's not entirely necessary, but I do mark him down because he can't do any of the more complex moves. Heading, inside that physical stat, is a monster in the air. He's going to win plenty of corners for you, plenty of crosses for you. He's very, very good in the air. A titan. Not quite close up, but not many are. He is still one of the top 10 aerial threats in the game for me. Very good player that you can whip the ball in. He's more than capable of posting up, being that single striker, the one you count on to win headers. And his assisting for others isn't as good as the other two, but that's because he is a stand-up striker. He's not a winger. And although he is very good at assisting others, again, due to his pace and his decent passing stats, he's a little bit worse in that department than some of the other guys. But ultimately, perhaps the most standard, the most prototypical striker of the three. He's also really cheap, which is a real benefit there, and very prolific for the price, and again, very good links to hybridize. Alright, so just to give you a little bit of taste of what you get with Reus and Aubameyeng. I didn't have a clip for Ramos because I haven't used him in a while, but Reus from downtown is awesome. He's a game changer, a game winner, a player who can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Again, I don't think he's a standalone striker, but that could be entirely up to you if you like smaller players. But overall, this guy, you cannot go wrong. I think any squad he's in is going to benefit from his presence so much. He's just a game winner. And then Aubameyeng, this is exactly what you get from Aubameyeng. Sweat, cheese, bad finishing, but ultimately you're still going to get a goal. As you can see, he really should have scored the first time there, but he stays in it. He's a sweaty player. He's going to score a lot of sweaty goals. Alright, so 3 adjectives to describe them, just so you can see which one might fit for you. You can pick 2 of these 3 and have a very good front 2 and a 2-striker formation. For Reus, I'd recommend him not as a single striker because he is a little bit smaller, but he is just so quick and great. Any squad would benefit, even if you have to play him at left mid. Just having a player of that quality on the pitch is just such a great asset. Aubameyeng, really, he is a sweat monster, and he's tall, so he can win headers as well, but he can be very inconsistent. He's going to miss some very easy ones for you, but he can make up for it often just by being pure pace, good strength to be able to get into spots. And then Ramos, you get the value, you get good links, you get awesome heading. You can't go wrong with Ramos. He really is a card that plays much better than his stats suggest. A very good player. Another one that you could pair with Reus and just have an absolute blast using. He's also great for hybrids. Alright, so that concludes part 1. Part 2 will feature more stand-up strikers and a little bit more expensive players with Perisic, Lewandowski, and upgraded Choupo-Moting as the next part of this striker challenge. As always, if you found this at all interesting or helpful, like and subscribe. I'm on Twitch at the Saintly Sounder and on Twitter at the Red Death 329. If you have ideas for a head-to-head challenge that you want to see, let me know in the comments. I had some suggestions after the last video, and I am working on that as well. Until next time, see you on the pitch.